and welcome back to Traffic Talks. I'm not including the number of the podcast because I've recorded so many and not uploaded them and then re-recorded them and not used that I've kind of lost track. So just welcome back. No number, no nothing. I'll probably do like big landmarks or like figures when I get there, but just hi, how are you doing? Welcome back. For today's episode, I wanted to kind of just catch you up on where I'm at and then bring you into the topic of habits and how I decided to get onto that topic for today. So, where I am currently is my room in my house, which I have been confined to for about a week. Tomorrow will be, day 6, somewhere there. Last week, Tuesday, I started working from home. I haven't left my house since, which is, as an introvert, the dream. So I've enjoyed that. Does get a bit stir crazy, but I think it's because I'm working from home, but I also have like a plan for my time when I'm not working that kind of keeps me sane. I have a list of things that I want to do in a day aside from work. There's also a list of things I want to do on my weekends, like this. I also try to record my podcast on a Friday and edit it over the weekend. Clearly that didn't happen, but still, that's what the plan was. But I didn't get there. Which brings me to my topic of habits. I've made a habit of doing this podcast and I've slipped through the cracks and uploaded late or not been satisfied with what I did and had to make other plan just because it wouldn't have been nice to put it out there in the world and have it come back to me at a inopportune time. I mean, with celebrities, they keep taking their tweets from like 10 years ago and bringing it up. It's like you have grown over this past decade and now you want to come dig up dead bodies and put them on display, that kind of a thing. I don't want that to ever exist in the world and potentially be used against me because of something I said in a moment of anger, which is why I chose not to upload those particular podcasts. But this is definitely about what you want to do and what you need to do. Some things you want to do, some things you need to do. This podcast, it's something I want to do. Having to actually record, edit and upload, I need to do. And building small habits have made it possible for me to do. It's also something that I wanted to challenge myself to do to kind of be more productive overall. I've been tracking my time a lot more recently since about February, maybe January, somewhere there, and I found I tend to waste a lot of time on unnecessary things. So filling it up with this podcast and forcing myself to take the time to record it, take the time to edit it. I can't fool around and procrastinate and do nonsense because I need to edit. I mean, it takes about an hour to upload 10 minutes worth of audio. Obviously depending on how many buffer words and nonsense words I throw around or how long of an explanation I plan on cutting out. But I sit and record for a good 30 to 40 minutes. And by the time you get it, I've cut it down to like 26, maybe less, maybe more, depending. And that's just what happens. It's something that has kind of helped me be more productive, but it's also helped me build habits. And that's what I want to tackle in today's topic. Habits. With this lockdown that we've been on lockdown since Thursday evening. Friday was day 1, meaning today, Sunday, is currently day 3. A lot of people are like, things to do so you don't get bored. I've seen all sorts of videos about decluttering and coloring and all sorts of random things to kind of keep yourself busy. But I think busy work is just productive procrastination. So you might think, I'm going to deep clean this or declutter that. But is it something you actually need to be doing? Could you be working on something that's actually going to help you in the long run? Do something that's going to help you, but it also needs to be done. For example, doing your laundry. I have laundry that I needed to do. I have laundry that I literally needed to do. You guys know my mom's not here, so I needed to make sure there were dish towels that were clean that we could use for our plates and our dishes and stuff. I had to make sure I have got clean laundry because I'm wearing my stuff. I wash my own clothes. I need to make sure I get them done. And when I used to work in my office, I needed to make sure they were done because I had no time in the week, so I'd still do them on the weekends. That was a habit. So I still continue to do that. Having to build a habit can sometimes either be very easy in the beginning and then fall off the wagon in the middle, or you fall off in the beginning and then you rework it and then you kind of like stick to it towards the middle and you keep going. But the goal in my mind is always to sustain the habit. So starting off slow and steady. Starting off slow and steady is always a good idea. With me, I like to jump in head first, take on too much, and then swim. There's no option to sink. Like with this podcast, you guys know I just started it and off I went. But I've successfully uploaded within a week. I know my last upload was quite late because I struggled to get to editing it correctly and stuff, but it was there. I played around with the editing much more, which was why it was late, but I was there. I'm getting there. And a friend of mine actually said they want to start the podcast, and they said they actually were going to batch a whole bunch of podcasts so it's ready for upload. And I thought that's a brilliant idea. Like, I should maybe just record a couple of podcasts on one day and then upload them as needed, because then I'll have more time to edit them and not have to rush to record one, rush to edit it, rush to upload it. So I'll see how that goes. But building habits was definitely something that I thought would be brilliant for people to tackle while we are in lockdown. And maybe not just building habits, but reassessing, not just building habits, but reassessing where they are in life. March marks the 3rd month of the year. There are only 12. That means the first quarter of the year is gone. It's almost like a new year where you kind of get to stay at home and literally work on a new you. This is honestly the perfect time to hit the reset. I mean, you don't have to leave your house too much, so your budget stays intact. You're not spending money on other people. You can exercise at home, because honestly all the gyms are closed, and my debit order went off this morning. I am so upset about that. It's time that calls for leniency in every single way, so I understand, but I'm not happy. Anyway, you can, rework your finances, and there are so many things you can learn about finances online. There are so many exercise things you can do online. There are almost every facet of your life you can rework and start building habits towards it for when you go back to your normal day to day. Starting now while you have the free time. It's like December all over again. Sometimes you're working, sometimes you're not. You can literally turn over a new leaf in these 21 days that you have. And I think taking advantage of it would be the best. So aside from reading my morning routine, which is not just about morning routines, but routines and habits in general, I've got another book that I'm reading at the moment since I finished that one. It's called Friendship. I will put the details in the box below. There was a quote that I wanted to read from this book specifically about your character and your habits. So just bear with me. So the quote is as follows: watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. By Lao Tzu. I think that is the perfect quote for this topic, because it just encompasses everything. If you waste your time, you'll look back in your life and see all the time you've wasted. You do things that don't benefit you, you won't see any benefit in the end, and then you wonder, but what happened? Like it says in the quote, watch your habit. Start by looking inward, because what you think is what you do. What you do is what is the result of all your actions, and becomes your environment and everything. Small steps, but move. Don't stand still. Okay, so I just took a quick second to look up some things, and there are many different facets of your life where you can use this time to reflect. So for example, your relationships. Are there people you could call and try and reconnect with even from a distance? For finances, like I said, completely overhaul it. Maybe even make a budget now that you have less expenses perhaps during this time. maybe you've gotten more creative with your foods, like I know we have, and we end up eating food over 2 days because we've batched it. We cook one night and we eat the leftovers the next day. So, we found a rhythm to that, which saves money and time. So could you maybe do that for yourself? Find a way to rework your budget thanks to your food saving, or, find other ways to cut costs, like on entertainment. Maybe you are a person who loves to go to the movies, but because you've had to stay home, you've gotten a free trial on Netflix during this period in time, or you've gotten a free Showmax, Hulu, whatever, free trial, and you're like, maybe I could do that every once in a while. There are so many ways to save money, and now's the chance to experience and experiment with that. So you could maybe, even just something that could benefit you both financially and physically, would be to maybe gym at home, invest in some equipment, which will be a upfront expense, like a yoga mat or a skipping rope or something. But in the long run, you're not forking out all that money on a gym membership. So that would benefit you in two facets of your life. If you have any physical goals you want to start meeting, start slow at home. Every second or third day, exercise at home, just to get your body used to the physical exercise if you can spare the space. Your mental health kind of may take a toll because of the anxiety and the fears and stuff. So look into some mental health practices that work for you. Some people it might be journaling, others it might be morning pages, maybe even keeping just a dream diary and exploring that, or investing in a therapist. Even just a couple of books that will help you explore how you mentally need to cope with things and how you need to sort through things. Some people prefer questionnaires that they can fill out and explore and go from there. Other people like to meditate. So figure out mentally what works for you. Figure out what physical exercises you like. Some people like high intensity, other people like low intensity. Find out how you want to work out and how it makes you feel, and go from there. Figure out your finances. What do you want to achieve financially? Do you want to save up for something big? Or are you a big spender and you just want to make sure you have enough saved up for an emergency? Start small. If you want to eventually date someone, or you're currently in a relationship, or reassess your relationships, platonic and romantic, your family, your friends, your partners. Look at them and how they make you feel. Do you miss them? Do you not? Figure out what's going on with you in your relation to those people in your life. And sometimes you might even need to cut them out, which is hard, but it's necessary for you to be better. Sometimes people can be toxic or like a cancer, and the only way to get rid of them is to cut them out your life so you can start healing and moving forward. Your career might have taken a dip. Now's the time to possibly reassess other career options. Are you excited to finally go back to work? Are you dreading it? What is going on there? Think about that. Once you've reassessed yourself, figure out what habits you can start putting into play now that will roll over. Because it's not about getting a big chunk of money and putting it in the bank and, I've done that. It's about the little bits that you put in every single time that adds up to a big result. And that counts for anything and everything you do, whether it's finding free online studies and doing that in your hour every evening or every second day. The every second or third day that you put into your physical activity that helps you get stronger and fitter and healthier. It's not about aesthetics, it's about your health. To journal in the evening or the morning. Have someone that you talk to that's like a therapist or an actual therapist. Taking care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and being a good person in who you are so that you can be a good person for your partner for your kids, for your parents, for whoever is in your life. And those habits that you make, reflect in the long term, because habits make who we are. If you don't have habits and routines, you will get lost. And that's not to say you need to be rigid in your routines and your habits. It's just to say that if you have a foundation, straying from it is never a bad thing, and nothing will go to plan every single day. But knowing you can fall back into that and have some stability just gives you that better sense of self. There's actually a book called My Morning Routine. I'll probably put the full title and authors and stuff in the description. But that book has helped me so much in terms of figuring out my morning routines, my evening routines, especially when changing jobs, because I was working and then I was unemployed and then I was working again, and having to shift my times, my hours, the way I do things. The book helped so much, because it's not something you need to take someone else's routine and copy and paste it. It shows you everyone's routine, and they are various people, and it just gives you ideas on what you can incorporate and what you think would work for yourself. So it's once again that self-assessment and making habits that work for you. Figure out what you want in life by assessing yourself, and make habits and routines that facilitate you. No one else, only you. Because you are the person that you are going to be in a relationship with forever. Others come and go, but you always have to have your own back, which is why you need to have confidence in yourself. Take some time for self-care, stay safe, and take care of yourself, and whatever that looks like for you. For some people, that might be exercising twice as hard and, really cracking down on their physical health. For other people, it's taking time to mentally explore and journal and just figure out that. For other people, it's a combination of that. For some, it's finally getting a chance to do whatever else in whatever other facet of their life is needing that right now. Take time for yourself. Figure out what you need, and you do that. As I always say, you do you, boo. So, that was that. The song for this week is from High School Musical. A bit cheesy, a bit cliche, but we are all in this together. Sung by the High School Musical cast. Because we are truly in this together as a planet, A lot of people are in lockdown, even more in quarantine. So we are all in this together. We're all doing this for the greater humanity. So stick it out, do your thing, and stay safe. Find a way to occupy your time that's going to be productive and good for you. If that's finally sitting down and watching all your TV series, which I honestly should do that. If it's whatever, do you. So next week's will actually be about how I do my podcast. I will probably speak to you then about batching and how I edit and all those things. So that'll be next week's podcast. I'll see you and enjoy your week. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.